So welcome. Welcome to the CFM healing transmission for today. And let's just take a couple of breaths and just become present in our space, in our environment, wherever we are, and in our bodies. Let's just feel and be with this beautiful day and what it's bringing for us today. So let yourself just kind of feel. Feel the space around you. Even before you close your eyes, just notice the space around you before you go into your inner world. And notice how you're sitting or laying down. Notice your sit bones. Notice the pull of gravity on you. Notice how that feels. Just allow that to be there. I mean, it's always there, but allow your own awareness to embrace that gravity, embrace that pull that we feel towards Mother Earth. Just feeling that pull, feeling that essence as she pulls us close to her. It's like having that wonderful vision of Mother Earth pulling her children to her, holding them close, nurturing, nourishing, supporting in this safety. And we can see gravity as that expression of this force we call love. So we could see that as an expression of love, and just allow that. Allow yourself to be present to that. It's always there. We're always in relationship to gravity. And we're also in relationship to the heavens above us, to the yang energy. And so we're in this place of movement of space. We're in this movement of space. And we're in doing this dance of between stillness and movement. Stillness and movement between the heavens and the earth. And so just feel your body. Maybe even just take your hands and feeling your hands, moving your hands in space, in relationship to the heavens as you move your hand up, and then letting your hand come down in relationship to gravity, to the earth, letting yourself feel that relationship. What does that feel like? To be in space, in relationship to these fields. What does that feel like? And then now feel your body, your torso, your shoulders, and just slightly moving a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. What does that feel like in relationship to the space between heaven and earth, between the yin and the yang, between the feminine and the masculine polarities? What does that feel like? Yeah. Noticing that you're always held. And we lose sight of that. We kind of numb out to that reality, but we're always held in gravity, in the love. And we're always receiving more and more and more frequencies of love through our crown to integrate into our heart, into our soul, into our physical reality, into ourselves. Yeah, so just allowing those realities to become present so that you become conscious of those levels of consciousness. You become aware of these subtle fields around you. And then as you continue to do that, I'm gonna do the invocation of the Great Mother. Dear Mother, I bow my head, heart, and womb to you. For you are the creatrix and the created. From your womb, the 10,000 things are born. I ask that you hold me close, awaken me, and keep me in your flow of divine grace. Bring me into your ecstatic presence where all veils are dissolved, leaving only your whispering truth as my teacher. Let me drink from your cup of mercy and merge into the annihilation and merge with you into the annihilation of my being forever and ever, dear Mother. And then you can just let yourself feel, let yourself move deeper into just feeling and knowing and surrendering to your subtle body or bodies, because you have many, many layers of your subtle body. And then you can become present to your mental body, your thoughts. See if there's any lingering thoughts that are still kind of hanging out. Sometimes there's so many thoughts that we can't really center. We can't really be in our essence. And so we live in our mental body. Sometimes it's thoughts of our agenda, it's the lists that we make, it's the need to be engaged in the doing. And so just become aware in this moment of all the thoughts that are there, if any. and just breathing and being present with them without needing to change anything, without resisting, without judging. Just breathing and allowing and noticing. And then we can move into our emotional body, just feeling, how are we doing today? How are our emotions doing today? Our emotions are like clouds. They come through. Sometimes they're dark and heavy, clouding everything else. And sometimes they're very soft and in the background. Sometimes they're so strong that we're blinded by them. And sometimes they're hidden behind other clouds. Just allow yourself to be with all of your emotions, seeing what is coming to the surface in this moment. And just breathing, allowing, acknowledging. Really, really important to acknowledge our whole existence. And then notice perhaps what emotions are there that are unresolved, that are kind of in the background, but that are asking for your attention. What's there? And perhaps can be addressed later, but that wants your attention. And you can embrace these and you can meet this field with love, meeting it with love, the pleasant and the unpleasant. There might be emotions of joy. There might be emotions of excitement. There might be emotions of happiness, peace. There might be all sorts of emotions in your field. And yet these differ from what you experience when you're in your essence, when you're in your core essence, which is also a deep sense of joy, of peace, but it's quiet. And it's not necessarily attached to anything on the outer, although it can transmit and penetrate everything that you're doing because it's you. It's a sense of who you really are, your essence. So we're talking about the emotional field that comes and goes, the waves of emotions. They're like energy fields that come and go, attached to thoughts, attached to experiences of the past or in the present or even in the future. And so really just acknowledging and being with our emotional body and embracing it in love and acceptance as it brings us the whole array of emotions, the whole spectrum. Sometimes we like it, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we even have core emotions that we're very, very, very familiar with, that we default to in any reaction to anything new. And that sometimes that's fear, sometimes it's hopelessness, sometimes it's sadness, disappointment, anger. These are some of the core emotions that we may feel and constantly be moving and processing and healing. And so you may recognize one or two of those as kind of like your go-to unconscious emotion that erupts when you're faced with a challenge. And so just accepting those, whatever they are, learning about yourself, understanding these layers of your subtle body without any judgment, without any judgment at all. And then from our emotional body, move into our physical body. And I want you to feel your physical body as a whole vessel that you've been given. And even in your physical body, there's many levels of consciousness, many subtle bodies, because each of the manifestations in your physical body carry consciousness. And you have collective consciousness as a whole, and then you have individual consciousness of each cell, for example. But you have the collective consciousness of cells. And you have the collective consciousness of fluids and of blood and of your bones and of your tissues and of your organs. And within those collective, and within that collective consciousness of organs, you have then the liver consciousness, then you have the spleen consciousness, and you have the heart consciousness, and you have the kidneys consciousness. And with each of those organs, you have each individual liver cell, and so on and so on and so on and so on. But for this moment, let's just be in the consciousness of our physical body, of the container that our physical body is, that contains all of these other magical consciousnesses that are manifested in the systems in form, let's say. And just feel your physical body. Feel your skin. And then feel the cells of your skin. Feel the cells in your body. Yeah. Each cell being recognized in love and in gratitude. And then feel the fluids in your body. Feel the blood, feel the lymphatic system. And you might even start to sway as you feel the fluids in your body and what they bring to your body. They bring this grace, this spiral movement that's endless. Yeah, and just feel all of the fluid moving in, moving down, moving up, moving through the vessels, moving through the spaces, each with different responsibilities, with each with their own intelligence, their own light being guided. Just breathe and allow, acknowledging. Yeah. And then from there, I want you to feel your bones. Feel the consciousness of your bones. The bones also have fluid. The bones also have consciousness. The bones also are moving in a whole different way. But when those cells are coming together, those cells feel very different than the other fluids in your body. Those cells are denser. Those cells have gathered to give you structure. To feel your bones. Maybe even playing with the bones of your hands. Feeling bones of your arms. Feeling your sitting bones. Feeling the heaviness in your arm, your hands. And so if you start to move your bones a little bit of your hands and your arms, it's like you feel the density in this space that we were talking about earlier, in the space between heaven and earth, and you feel the pull of gravity even more on your bones, the bones of your whole body. And we can just be present, bringing our consciousness out again a little bit to just embody all of our physical body and all of its forms inside. Holding it all in light and love and gratitude. In gratitude. And then I want to bring your awareness to your sacral womb. We're going to touch the subtle bodies of our triple womb. We have 3 wombs in this level, and our sacral womb is right underneath our belly button and our pelvic cavity. So just bring your hands to your sacral womb. Just breathe into your sacral womb. Just acquainting yourself with the space of breath, the space that transcends life and form. And just asking your sacral womb to reveal any of its secrets to you. What does it want to reveal to you? What do you want to become aware of in relationship to your sacral womb? Just ask, question, and then just wait for the answer to arise. And it might be a picture, it might be a feeling, it might be a sensation. Just receive. Let yourself receive it. Yeah. And then meeting it with gratitude. Meeting it with gratitude. And then bring your hands up to your heart womb. And bring your hands, left hand can go on your solar plexus, right here. Right hand can go on your heart. So this whole area of your mid torso, upper torso, consider that your heart womb. Yeah. Just breathing, feeling and sensing and being with this space. We're marking it on our physical body, but it is a subtle body, energetic body. It also has physical components, and just being with. There you go. Good. And just opening. And so you might feel that opening into your back. Physically, your back opening. And just asking it to reveal anything that it wants to your conscious mind, to your conscious awareness. And it might just be a sensation, an image, could be words. But most likely it's a felt experience, direct experience from that level of consciousness. And so just notice how that feels in your body. Beautiful. And just meeting it with love, openness, and gratitude. That your mind, your conscious awareness can start to occupy these places in your subtle body more and more. And it's like anchoring yourself, awakening to these realms of your being. And then I want you to place your hands on your head. You can, in the upper womb. You can do this way, or you can do it this way. It's good to always have your third eye covered because it allows you to easily go into these other realms. It shifts your vision from the outer to the inner. It allows you to activate your eye of the heart. It shifts your third eye from facing outward to facing inward to the inner realms. And with your hands here in your head, whichever way is comfortable, this is your upper womb. So just letting yourself feel your upper womb. This is where all of that creative essence comes into as inspiration, as creative thoughts, as new thoughts. Sometimes it's very crowded in there. Sometimes we're holding a lot of old, conditioned thoughts from our past. But we're activating and recalibrating this whole area in our upper womb. And just opening up to all of the frequencies coming in from the heavens, from our moon, all the cosmic rays coming in. And then just letting our upper womb expand. And just asking it to reveal anything that it wants to reveal in this moment. Asking it to reveal. Maybe you need to spend more time here, letting it recalibrate with your hand. Letting it recalibrate. Breathing into that upper womb. And then just noticing a line on the inner, in your inner realm that connects all three wombs. That connects all three wombs in your inner body. And just noticing that. Just noticing that and how all three are connected and they're part of the greater womb that we're in at all times. We're being held in this cosmic womb that's really right here, right here. It's like our container. And that cosmic womb is part of the space that we're dancing in, that we're moving in, that we're living in. And so now just take a couple of minutes and feel your body. Feel your body. And so just notice what's changed. What's changed in your awareness, in your direct experience of yourself. What's changed in how you relate to yourself? What's changed in what you consider yourself to be, in your idea of yourself? And so all of these subtle bodies that we traveled through in consciousness, that we opened up our consciousness to, these are all varying aspects of your essence and how your essence experiences life. So we're very familiar with the physical, but then if we step into the physical, we find all sorts of worlds within, all sorts of subtle levels of consciousness that are operating, that are vibrating, that are alive. And that is you. All expressions of your essence. And there's so much more that we didn't even cover. But we can continue this exploration. We can continue this on our own, or we can also continue it here, one of our next gatherings. So just take a couple of more minutes to just be aware of the totality of all of these expressions. And again, your physical body. And holding that in love, and holding that in grace, and holding that in gratitude. And then also making room for those parts of ourselves that we tend to push away or reject, whether it's an aspect of our emotional body or our mental body or our physical body. And just hold a special moment in your awareness to really embrace that expression of yourself, and just embrace embrace it and hold it in love. Even if it's challenging, even if it brings you unpleasant, it triggers unpleasant emotions or unpleasant experience, that's okay. Your heart is big enough to contain all of it, the pleasant and the unpleasant. You are capable in your sacred space of your heart, of your soul, to really embrace and bring in and hold whatever has been challenging to you. I'm just taking a couple of minutes to acknowledge what that is. What's been challenging to you this past week, month, years? Can be an ongoing theme. And it can be reflected outside of yourself in an experience or in other people. But I want you to really work with yourself now by just really focusing on perhaps those emotions that are triggered or that aspect of yourself that's challenging, and just really embrace that rather than turning outward to the thing, experience, or others. I want you to still stay with yourself in this experience. And can we just extend our heart around those challenges or that difficulty and embrace that expression of ourself, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, whichever way that expression is experienced. Just holding it in love. Holding it in love. Holding it in acceptance. Yeah, there we go. And that too, we can extend that core essence of love, that divine love. That too, we can extend into that experience and just surrender it into love, not having to figure anything out in this moment. Maybe it's a situation that you're stuck with that hasn't been resolved yet, and that's okay. Just surrender and embrace that in love, even in its own state of where it's not resolved yet. And just holding it in love, just meeting it with love. Because the truth is that it's there anyway. It's there anyway. And that too is an expression of ourselves. And the places where we are challenged is the places that we grow, that we evolve through. And so just knowing that and holding it in love. And perhaps there'll be some wisdom that'll come in. Perhaps there'll be some opening in this situation. But for this moment, just being with the challenge, the difficulty, the stuckness, the unpleasantness, and just acknowledging that experience. And holding that in love. Yeah, there we go. And you'd be surprised at how much that ends up really opening and shifting and transmuting and transforming the difficulty, rather than holding it at bay until we have an answer, a resolution, a strategy, a coping mechanism. Yeah. So right now, the exercise is just to hold it in love, because it's an expression of ourselves as we're holding all of these other subtle bodies and physical body in this container of love. Yeah, beautiful. And so we're going to begin to close for this session. And perhaps you might want to jot down or journal any awarenesses that came in, any places that want you to kind of go back and be in relationship with, and just be in that space, exploring any places in your physical body and your subtle bodies that perhaps want a little more of your attention, a little more playing and feeling and exploring and expanding your consciousness and your awareness. And so just take a few minutes to do that as we conclude this session for today of our embodied conscious feminine medicine healing transmission and process that we did. Thank you.